Hey everybody, welcome to my video of a tutorial of an easy strumming version, way to play Landslide. If you're interested in learning how to do the right hand finger picking pattern, that's not going to be here in this video. We're just going to have a simple strumming pattern. If you want to be able to play the song, sing it, practice doing that, and maybe that's as far as you want to go with the guitar playing. Or maybe you just want to work on the Travis picking, the finger picking later. This is a great way to start and get used to singing and playing the song, and then the chord changes. But what we're going to do is basically stick with a right hand strumming pattern, something like this. Okay, so it's basically just all down strokes. Occasionally, if you feel a little bit daring, feeling comfortable, you can throw some of those in there. A little down, up, down, 4, down, up, down, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down. Okay, so let's take a look up close here of the chords you're going to be using for this song. I'm not using a capo right now. Depending on what key you want to sing the song in, you can use a capo. If this key is too low, but I'm just playing this in standard tuning, and I've got a C chord, right? So ring finger on the 3rd fret here of your A string, middle finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then of course your first finger is going to go on the 1st fret of the B string. Okay, so you put all 3 of those together, you've got your C chord, right? And for this song, I'm just using these 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you strum all 5 of the strings, it's not going to sound bad. It'll still sound great. I typically am just strumming those 4 for this song, though. Okay, so that's your C chord. The chord you're going to need after that, a couple different ways you can do that. It's based off of a G chord. All I did is right here I went to that note, or that pitch right there. So I took this middle finger, pushed it over to the A string right there, and lifted up the ring finger. You could bring the ring finger over here for this, but I find it a little easier to just push the pinky down on not string number 1, not the E, but the B string right there on the 3rd fret. So you go from this, and if your pinky's hanging out there, I mean, you don't want to be doing this, or trying to poke it out or something, or trying to help the ring finger. If it's hanging out right here where it should be, it's pretty easy, I think, for it to find that 3rd fret position right there on the B string. And you can go from this, bump the middle finger over, push the pinky down, lift up that finger. Okay, and you got that now. Okay, that's based off of a G, so you can take the C chord, whoops, there we go, and then just play a G. That's just another way that you can play that, and just play these 4 strings on the inside, and you'll get the same effect. For me, I feel like it's a little more convenient, and I'm used to it, playing that chord, because you're going to switch to an A minor after this, and there's less movement overall to do it this way. If you want to play the whole G chord, you can do a whole shift, and that'll work just fine. It still sounds exactly the same because it's the exact same notes. Again, just a different fingering. And in my opinion, with a little practice, this one's easier. Okay? So your A minor chord, if you recall how to play that, of course, you've got 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then you've got these 2 fingers here. I'm becoming neighbors here on the G and D strings here on the 2nd fret, respectively. Your bass note is your A string. And I'm just playing those 4 strings on the inside for all 3 of these chords. I took my love, I took it down. I climbed the mountain, I turned around, right? And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought it down. And so on and so forth for all the verses. Now what happens when you get to the bridge section, or the part where the chords are a little bit different, okay? You're going to have to play some different chords and strum some different strings. So let's say when we get to the part of the song that says, let's see, we've got, can I handle the seasons of my life? And here comes the chords. After the A minor, you're going to get this chord. Oh, this comes up a lot in, I think, good songs. Okay, so what I did, this is a D type chord. I've got my middle finger on the 2nd fret over here on the low E string. That gives you a nice F sharp as your bass note. I've got an open A string, open D, and then the G, I've got a finger on the 2nd fret. So, and I'm also playing, because I think it sounds nice in this song, an open B string. So 5 strings. And then a G, which what I'm doing right there's a couple different options you have. I just threw my pinky over there because to me that felt convenient. And you can't really, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with the pinky, but I'm actually using the squishy pad part of my pinky. The tip of it's pushing down on the low E. The squishy pad is actually in contact with the A string. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that. Preventing it from making a sound. Well, it makes a little noise, but if I strum, you don't really notice it. And so if that's a little too complicated for you, you can just have a finger on the 3rd fret here and a finger on the 2nd fret there, and still a beautiful sounding G chord. Again, the way that I did that, here's your D chord with the 2nd fret, F sharp bass note, and then over here on the G, you've got 2nd fret here. And I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the strings. I left out the high one, it just doesn't fit in the chord really. Oops. G. Well, I've been afraid of, there's your D chord with the F sharp on the bass. Changing, that's an E minor, right? Changing 'cause and then here's the C again. Oh, we're familiar with that one. Built my life around you. Back to that D chord. Did you notice I did not have to move my good friend the ring finger right here? Watch this. Oh, yeah, I just made a rude gesture at y'all. Oh well. Boom, stays put right there on the 2nd fret of the G. Okay, so time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. I'm getting older too. Right, so that gives you the parts of the songs. If you've got the words in front of you, and I take those chords that I use here with my left hand, and then I'm going to go back to using my simple strumming pattern. You know, maybe a few of those thrown in there, a little down, up, down. And we're going to play the song and see how I do.